Kahlo Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shah, Bahashem Rakakwadash. Double honors to the apostles and others of Great Millstone who rule well. Shalom to all you brothers out here pushing the words of truth and sincerity. Shalom to all the elect out there. You know, this is a quick video just going into the topic of camps, generalizing what a camp means, what a camp is all about. You know, you got a lot of new members that come into this word every day. You got a lot of celebrities nationalizing and proclaiming to be part of the 12 tribes of Israel. Kanye says 12 tribes of Judah. You know, this guy, DC Young Fly, mentioned it on his show. You got Math Hoffa mentioned on his show. Everybody's a Hebrew Israelite now, from Kodak Black to Kendrick Lamar. Everybody's a Hebrew Israelite. Well, there's a few things you should know, man. All right? I'm going to start with this. Where's your camp? Now, that's a Apostle the Hard's phrase. What he used way back in the day, he asked that question in one of his videos. Where's your camp? You know why you need a camp? Let's go backwards years ago into the 90s, when being an Israelite in New York City was popping, man. It was as fiery as it is now. All right? It was popular to be a Hebrew Israelite, being that knowledge. You had dudes from the Wu-Tang coming to the Passover. All right? It was well known. All right? Well ascribed to. It was cool. All right? To be down for your people, your nation, your tribe. And then after the year 2000, guess what happened? Hundreds, thousands of them dipped out, diminished, gone, sayonara, finished. They ain't know nothing about nothing no more. Oh, I'm just back in the world. All them beards, glorious beards, shaved off the next day, within 24 hours of the Lord not returning on a day in which a lot of those guys said, if he don't return by this day, I'm out. And they held fast to that, man. Well, this truth ain't about what you got, well, you know, mixing priorities. You can't be mixing this truth. Revelations 3 and 15, all right, or 15 and 3, you know, Salakia for butchering, I believe it's 3 and 15. It tells you, be ye either hot or cold. Yeah, that's 3 and 15. Be ye either hot or cold, because if you're lukewarm, the Lord's going to spew you out of his mouth. And spew you out of his mouth, as we all know, when you're in this fold, it means the Lord's going to destroy you. He's going to kill you. He's going to kill a lot of you niggas. You know why? You playing with his name. You playing with this information. You think this truth is all about fun and games, and it's in feeling to fit in, finally fitting in with your people. Yeah, that's one of the benefits and the fruits of this word and the fruits of the spirit, that you had that joy and peace amongst brethren that you never had before. Guys that look like you that you never had before. But it ain't only about that. All right, let's take in case the name Hebrew Israelite. What's that mean? What does it mean to be a Hebrew? Do any of you niggas speak Hebrew? All right, do any of you speak Hebrew that's claiming to be Hebrew Israelite? Do you even understand that we once spoke Hebrew? That Hebrew is a people before it was a language? Do you understand that? All right, it comes from Abar, the past, men of the past. All right, do you understand how to break down different chapters and different the name of the Lord in the Hebrew? Do you understand what Israelite means? Israelite, what does that mean in the Hebrew? Do you understand that that's not an English word, that's a Hebrew word? It's transliterated from Yasha Allah. He is the Prince of the Power. There's things you gotta know. And then guess what? Unless you're in a camp, you're not gonna be pushed to learn these things. You know what you're gonna do? The same thing a lot of these dudes that fall out do. Yeah, I'm still studying. Yeah, I'm still, you know, I'm still learning. I'm still watching videos. But remember, you used to be hot, but now you cold, because you was lukewarm and the Lord spewed you out. And so the bottom line is, you got to try to remain hot. And the way to do that is, you be down with a camp. That's what happens when you amongst a camp. See, the scriptures say, iron sharpeneth iron. And what that mean is that you're going to have men around you that pushing you. You're going to have to report what time you're going to be at camp. You're going to have to report that, make sure you show up at camp. Otherwise, you're going to have to speak up for yourself. What in the world was so important, more important than camp, than your salvation, right? Than preaching his word? The Lord said, be ye instant in season and out of season. That means year round. Cold, hot, all type of temperature we out there. The weather be the main enemy when we go out there in the cold. So here it is. When you subscribe to being a Hebrew Israelite, it's much more than just a name, a reputation, a cool little fun little project that you're working on. All right? A belonging that you saying you belong to for a little while. All right? It's bigger than the name. It's more involved with it. We in a constant servitude and we are slaves, if you will, to Yahweh Shah. Many times in the scriptures you're going to see that. Prisoners of hope. All right? We are incarcerated to the duty that we owe. We are in debt as servants to Yahweh Shah. Who's that? That's who the world ignorantly calls Jesus Christ. Once again, you could say you're a Hebrew Israelite. Do you know these things? All right? Not only the brothers got to go to camp, but we got to push this word on the YouTube. All right? Brothers pushing this word every avenue they can get. Why? Because the Lord said, and once this gospel is preached to the four corners, then He'll come. We are we're not, it's not about putting on the fact that you're a Hebrew Israelite for the nation to bow down to you. That's going to happen. That's part of prophecy way down the line. What's happening next is persecution of the saints, man. What's going to happen next is a lot of trouble, all right, to come to this earth that you got to be mentally, spiritually prepared for. Isaiah 33:6, wisdom and knowledge shall be the stability of thy times. Gold and silver not going to do nothing for you in that day. They done told you lies as if you was going to be able to pay your way out of it. So that's why being a celebrity, being rich, being famous, that has little to nothing to do with salvation. Why? Because the Lord himself said, even it is easier for a camel to go through an eye of a needle, which is a small passageway, than for a rich man to enter the kingdom of heaven. We're not looking for to be stupid rich on this side. The Lord bless me with more money. We're gonna spread it amongst brothers. We got that brotherly mindset packed down. All right, but here it is. Where's your camp? A lot of you guys pushing that you Hebrew Israelites now. You all on camera saying it. Where's your camp, man? Otherwise, you just gonna stroll through this thing, not knowing no Hebrew, not understanding no prophecies, not getting no breakdowns. You're gonna be a little bit you're gonna be lukewarm. Now, you might be able to pull that off to get some clout out here for whoever's gonna give it to you. But guess what? When the Lord come back, He's not looking for your clout. He's looking for how many talents did you use that He gave you. Go look up the parable of the talents and see what happens to that servant that has all these talents and all these gifts and doesn't use them to push this word, man. The Lord said to Peter, do you love me? Peter said, yes. The Lord said, feed my flock, feed my lambs. And he did that 3 times in a row, asked him. Because that's what it's about on this side. Feeding the Lord's lambs. The scripture tell you, give them no rest. I believe it's Isaiah that said this word is like a fire in his mouth. It's like his tongue is on fire. He has to let this word come out. So you ain't supposed to be ashamed, man. If you're ashamed of Yahweh Shah, He's going to be ashamed of you at His coming. All your tribulation and problems and troubles and anguishes and griefs, that's all accumulating up into the point where Yahweh Shah comes back and relieves us of all of that. So deal with it. Did He not bear that cross? Was you there to help Him? All right. More than likely, we was all there. Reincarnation is definitely biblical. But we didn't help Him bear His cross. He bared His cross. Saved Simon or Simeon, who helped the Lord actually bear the cross after a point in time. But the Lord had to drink of that cup, and He said, so will ye. So you got to prepare yourself for temptation. You come to seek the Lord, man. But don't think that you could just walk through this and breeze through this. All right? Because I'm a butcher it, but with much tribulation shall ye enter into the kingdom, man. With fear and tribulation, you're going to get into the kingdom. So you got to go through it all, man. So once again, you come into this truth, you learn you a Hebrew Israelite, Good. Take a moment and digest that. And now it's time to seek a camp. What I'm telling you is, if you ask me, like a man once told me when I was a little bit in the IUIC, a little bit watching videos of Bubba Lies, a little bit watching videos of which is IGJC, CJC. I was in Comfy's videos. I was in a few of these guys' videos. We had a brother from North Carolina. I don't even know who he is to this day. And he told me on YouTube, yo, just deal with GMS. Because I used to ask this man questions. He said, just stop dealing with all these camps. They causing you to forget what you had learned already. Deal with GMS. And since then, that's been my camp. And brothers, like iron, sharpening each other, making sure each other on point. You ain't gonna be able to just dip out and do this. And guess what happens when you're not on point? You get kicked out the camp. That's real. I don't know how these other camps work. They got 5,000, 10,000, 100,000 plus members. In GMS, you can get kicked out any day of the week. You can kick out on the Sunday night if you ain't right. All right, because a little leaven leaveneth the whole lump. And when you read it into that scripture, you realize that was talking about wicked and evil being spread throughout churches. And we a body. We are a church. All right, so the body got to be clean, man. All right, so Lord willing, this video is edifying. Until next time, shalom.